Okay, so this is video number 3 in the series of our epic dates. This date was an interesting one because we wanted to try to get together in advance of this date. I think we were talking about a Friday. We couldn't get together because I had my sons. I can't remember what the circumstances were, but I believe it's because I was traveling and I didn't want to go too long without seeing my sons. So I ended up having the boys on Friday. The both of us were busy on Saturday, so I think I had quite a few things lined up. She had some appointments going on as well, so it just seemed like Sunday would probably be a better day. So actually, she was the one who suggested us to have a football Sunday. Now, my team is the Seattle Seahawks. Huge fan, always have been. Well, not always, but long enough. So she asked, "Do you want to do football Sunday?" And as a man, it's a really big deal to us. If not that a woman is going to sit around all day long watching football, burping and drinking nachos. It was just more about the fact that she was okay with that, with sitting and watching football in a football environment, having a beer, hanging out, chilling. So, of course, I accepted the offer. My team usually plays at 4 o'clock, but this particular day, they played at 1, which was weird because they were playing another West Coast team. So we decided to meet at the Green Turtle. I tried to get us there early, so I think I said 12:25, something like that, because there's a lot of places, if you get there right at game time, you're not going to get a seat. So by getting there 30 minutes early, I felt it would probably help us out a little bit. So I got there, waited for her for a few minutes. I think she got there maybe a few minutes late, but it was negligible. And I say that because I am a prompt person and usually early when I get to places. And she runs a little bit late. And the thing is, some people would have a huge problem with that. But the thing is, though, I felt at the time, I was like, this is really worth her getting ready and beautiful because she always has this wonderful put together look about her. Like she just stepped off of a runway doing some type of modeling shoot or something of that nature. And I was excited to see how she was going to look in a much more casual environment. Consider the fact that the first time we saw each other was a first date. Of course, everybody's going to do a little bit extra that first date. The second date was right after work. So that meant that she had her professional attire on. I had my professional attire on. This date was going to be specifically casual. And so I really was excited to see how she would look in a casual setting because she always looked so put together in all of her pictures and on our dates. So she shows up, and as expected, I mean, she had a business casual type attire on, but she just knocked it out the park. I was just really impressed again, and there's nothing better than seeing someone who has so much pride in themselves just come in and exude that confidence and beauty that you hope for in somebody that you're with. I take my grooming seriously, and that meant a lot to me. So I was excited about that. We sat, the game came on. She ordered, I think, some quesadillas or something of that nature. I can't remember. And I ordered some, I think, a seafood dish, maybe crab cakes or something with shrimp. I can't remember exactly. But I remember that we ordered some. I know she got a beer. Well, we both got beers. But she ordered a pumpkin beer, and she liked it a lot. And I actually liked it a lot, too. I wish I could remember which pumpkin beer it was. I know it wasn't Heavy Seas, but it was a good one. Possibly Leinenkugel. Like I say, it's escaping me right now. So we had a great time with that. I afterwards offered if she wanted to go to Park Lane, which we did. So this is becoming our new go-to spot, it seems. I um, remember that when we left Green Turtle, I'm pretty sure that was the first time I held her hand. No, actually, the second date I held her hand for just a moment, just as long enough to walk her to her car. It was pretty brief. But something about holding her hand on that third date where we walked up to Park Lane was a little bit more meaningful and deliberate. And she, uh, I don't know, this the height and everything is like when our fingers interlocked, it just felt so good and natural. So we get to Park Lane, and when we get seated, we see a friend of mine, Tiffany. Tiffany used to be a server at Ruby Tuesdays, known her for years. We kind of fell off the map for a little bit. And then I see her at Park Lane, and we talk, and I get my usual Scotch flight. I think that was the time I got her the Bourbon Barrel Stout. So we sit and we drink and we laugh and we have a great time like we always do. So it's now approaching, I want to say 7 or 8 o'clock. So consider the fact we went to one place to watch the game, which lasts 3 hours. We go to another place and we sit for another 2, 3 hours again. I can't remember exactly. So again, another great epic date, and it hasn't even ended yet. So we start talking about movies, and I mentioned Gone Girl and how there was this kind of fervor about this movie and how interesting the ending was. And so I said, would you want to see this movie? And she responded that she would like to see it. I'm a spontaneous person at times, and I said, well, let's just go see it tonight. Why not? So as we're sitting there at the table, I pull up Fandango on my phone, and I purchased tickets for us to go see that movie in Kiln Creek. However, I've been away from my dog for the entirety of the day, so I thought it would be a good idea for us to go back, take care of her, let her out, feed her, and she was in agreement with going to do that. Otherwise, I was going to leave her there, and she would meet me at the movie theater, or she could have gone home, but she agreed to go with me to my house. Now, that probably sounds like a minor thing, but it's not. This is the third date. For her to feel comfortable enough to come back to my house was really a big deal to me, because that meant that she felt like there's something here. This isn't just, hey, I'm getting free movies and dinner. If I'm going to come back with you and see your house, that's a level of trust and of comfort, which meant that things were progressing well in her mind as well. And of course, when you're early in a dating scene, you don't really say everything you're thinking or feeling. You say things like, hey, this is going well, but you don't really, elaborate on why it's going well. So we go to we come back to the house, feed her Maury. Maury, of course, is excited. She's like, new people, that whole thing. So she's wanting to jump and sniff, and I'm trying to calm her down. I let her out and I feed her. And I offered Zsavonne a drink, but she said she was okay. And I think we were there for maybe 20, 30 minutes tops, and it was time for us to go. So we left there and went straight to the movie theater. I don't remember us doing anything in between there. I'm pretty sure we ate again at Park Lane. I just can't remember what. Maybe appetizers or something of that nature. So I don't believe we ate dinner anywhere else. So we went to the movies, got into Gone Girl. It was a practically empty theater. Considered Sunday, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night almost. I've been 9:30 showing. And we watched the movie. Luckily, that movie theater is one of those ones that has the armrests that come up. So we were able to sit close to each other. And it was nice sitting and holding her and, just feeling each other's touch as we watched the movie. And then at the end of the movie, we kind of discussed and compared notes about the movie and what have you. And then it was kind of time to wrap it up. I mean, this was a school night, so we get out to the car, and it was like 12:20. So again, this was a long, long epic date. So we met at 12:30. So you're talking about pretty much 12 hours of hanging out. And again, this is not something that's just, hey, every time I turn around, I'm, dating a woman and having 12-hour dates. That just doesn't happen. But that level of comfort was so great to have with someone. And all I could think about was I couldn't wait to see her the next time, which is what I thought about every time I saw her. But her energy and enthusiasm for spending time with me was so welcome to me, and I couldn't say enough. I will think enough about her when I got home. I was just so thrilled to be with someone like her who possessed the poise and ambition and just general characteristics that I've always looked for in someone. And she didn't want to play games, which I loved that because she told me exactly what she was thinking, and I told her what I was thinking. And it seemed like what we were thinking was extremely compatible, and that goes a long way in a relationship. So that was the end of date 3, and I'm really looking forward to recording another video on date 4. Anyway.